And so there's a lot of churning. But so far, at least, we're probably the healthiest economy on the planet. And we're more likely to avoid a recession than any other major country in the world.
Newt, I want to ask you about the New York Times Magazine. I know you read it as much as you can, launching a new crusade to reframe America as defined by slavery and racism. Here's the headline. I want to show it to you. The 1619 Project. And the quote inside says, it aims to reframe the country's history, understanding 1619 as our true founding and placing the consequences of slavery and the contributions of black Americans at the very center of the story we tell ourselves about who we are. You're a historian. Your reaction?
Yeah, the whole project is a lie. Look, I think slavery is a terrible thing. I think putting slavery in context is important. We still have slavery in places around the world today, so we need to recognize this is an ongoing story. I think certainly if you're an African American, slavery is at the center of what you see as the American experience. But for most Americans, most of the time, there were a lot of other things going on. There were several 100,000 white Americans who died in the Civil War in order to free the slaves. The fact is, I saw one reference that the New York Times claims that the American Revolution was caused in part to defend slavery. That is such historically, factually false nonsense that it's embarrassing that the New York Times is doing this. But if you saw the recent leaked interview, town hall meeting with the New York Times editor, he basically said, look, we blew it on Russian collusion, didn't work. Now we're going to go to racism. That's our new model. The next 2 years will be Trump and racism. This is a tragic decline of the New York Times into a propaganda paper worthy of Pravda or Izvestia in the Soviet Union.
Read all about it in the New York Times Magazine. All right, Newt, thank you very much for joining us.
All right, the homeless and drug crisis growing in California. One business owner says it's gotten so bad she's had to close up